You just walked into that second game and said, "This game is mine, and I am taking it one way or the other."
Yeah, it's my my patented 4-gate. If anyone followed last year, I did a lot of those.
Well, last year was Wings of Liberty, and Wings of Liberty was a little bit more 4-gatey. That's the first 4-gate we've seen in this tournament with a lot of Protoss and Terran. What made you say, you know what, this game I'm just going to go for the 4-gate and get this over with?
I mean, I was pretty confident going into it, especially after the first game I canceled that gateway.
Yeah.
And I was so mad. I mean, obviously I vented some frustration. I apologize for not coming up here earlier. That's my good buddy Entity that I played. And
yeah, no problem.
I grew up with him. I was just frustrated after it. I didn't want to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
I didn't want the whole world to see me sad and just depressed.
We definitely were watching that and we're like, oh my gosh, he canceled his gateway. What's his plan?
So
and
after that, I was like, well, I got to expand now. I got no other option.
But that ended up working out for you really well. That expand really ended up being a good thing because he put enough pressure on. He put a little bit of pressure on you, but you had your units in good positions to really hold that off, as it was only with Hellions.
I saw the Hellions, and I just assumed drops were coming, so I just tried to put a couple Sockers, in different areas, and it worked out for a while. Then he got one Widow Mine in my base, and it was in a weird spot.
It looked like that Widow Mine. We've seen in the past. We've seen Terrans put the Widow Mines right next to the Stargate to kind of snipe the
I didn't even realize he was
oracles
doing that until
out.
after, and I was like, it seemed smart, but I stopped using the Stargate after the first Oracle just failed miserably.
We were a little concerned because you had a lot of high Templar in range of that mine, but you luckily moved them right before the cooldown finished. But that was just you canceled that gateway, but if that's what made you go for the expand, that was a great thing because I think that really helped you out because you did a good job of stopping those drops.
I mean, my plan was to do a safe expand anyway. I was going to go into a 1-gate and then just expand off of that, see what he was doing. But when I got into his base and I saw the Widow Mine timing or the Reactor Hellion, I just assumed either a drop with Widow Mine or a drop with Hellions were coming. So I just tried to play safe after that. And I figured I could get into a macro game because PvT is my best matchup.
I was just going to ask you if PvT is your best matchup because you looked extremely comfortable, especially with your army spread. Going into the mid to late game, you had the meat of your army in the middle between your main and your third base with a smattering of High Templar on either side. And then when he came in with that army, you brought them all together very nicely and just decimated that bio army with storms.
Tried to keep the upgrades up too. I actually noticed earlier you guys were talking about how tosses aren't really focusing on upgrades too much. And that's something I try to keep up because if you get ahead in upgrades, you have charge last, you have the armor upgrade. I mean, they just last forever.
Yep, that's definitely one thing we haven't seen. We noticed that you guys were both getting heavy on the upgrades, figuring that that was the reason.
Always try to.
Cool. Well, it was definitely a very decisive game, and it looks like we'll be seeing you again shortly.
Yep, another PvT. I'm pretty happy.
Thanks for coming on up and chatting with us, and we'll see you very soon.
Thank you very much.
That was Mr. Paladin, the winner of the last game versus Perseus, which was a Terran. I'll have to check